The Unimate PUMA was the original electric robot commercially available. This video shows the evolution of that robot from 1978 till about 1990. Prior to that, Unimation, which was the world's first robotics company, made hydraulic robots. Okay, here's a quick look inside El Guapo. We had that cover on backwards so it wouldn't get beat up during shipping. But you can see it's pretty similar to the later iteration. The later iteration is over on the left. One big obvious difference are the encoders on top of the motors. On the right, the oldest one, I'm not sure if those little black discs on top of the motors are the encoders or if there's an encoder somewhere else in there. But you can see on the left, the next generation, they had the removable encoders. Fortunately for us, because we ended up having to replace one of those. And on the one on the left, you can see there's an extra hole to accommodate routing the drive shaft and the pneumatic tubing down through the body of the arm there. The motor doesn't have the shroud on it, and some of the connectors and things are a little different. So we're really hoping that the original control box works for this one. It looks like it doesn't use the exact same connector. So we have one cable for it too. But you can see exposed wires and things, a lot of stuff they kind of upgraded later. But you can see like the fitting on there for the pneumatics. And again, this is actually the gripper that goes on it. I just took it off for shipping, but got the original gripper too. So hooray, this is the one we're really gonna try hard to get working. We got the other three 560s working, so we're optimistic. And for comparison, here's the same model Unimate a few years later. You can see the big housing over the top of that motor, different connector. And then from the back here, they're not hugely different. The base is different too though. The upper assembly looks like it's pretty much the same. But yeah, this is the oldest one we got. If anybody out there has a hydraulic Unimate, let me know, please. That's what we're missing. Here's a picture of one that I missed out on a few years ago. Not sure how it got past me. And then here's a picture of what the original hydraulic Unimates look like when they're actually in motion. They stopped making them in the early 80s. This one's from the early 60s that's shown in the video here. So we'll do a quick comparison of how the Unimate 560 evolved over time. This one's from 1978. This is the first edition that we've been looking at. And then again, the next iteration from probably 1980 or so. This one is still Unimation from the plant in Connecticut. And then of course we have the little 260 here, and just so you can see how different they are. I mean, they're really a lot smaller. I thought they were going to be about twice the size because I'd never seen one in person. When I saw it in person, I was just kind of shocked at how small the 260s are. And then we have this Unimate 500. This is a Westinghouse one. So Unimation in about 1982 got sold to Westinghouse, and they kept making them. And of course they ruined the color scheme. These white ones are just ugly. But this one is one I got over in Salem, Oregon. And I think it used to be used as some kind of a medical device. It had a camera, then it has these weird actuators. And I have a little video about this one in operation too, which I'll link to down in the description. And then in about 1988 or 1989, Staubli, the Swiss company, bought Unimation from Westinghouse, and they kept making robots called Unimation for a number of years. Eventually they dropped the Unimation altogether, and I don't even think they make one called PUMA anymore. And you can see this one, it says Roboter 2, because I actually got this one and this one from a plant in Germany. and I'm pretty confident they were making CDs. They really didn't change a whole lot about the design from the early 80s version to the mid 80s version to the Staubli version. And you can see this is what the connectors look like for the 560s, for all the ones except for the original one we have. Just lots and lots of pins because, like I said, every encoder plus the pneumatics and everything needs a separate channel. Now the two big 560s that we got from Germany, see, this one is Roboter 2, which means 3 in German. And it says Staubli on the box, but they came with these gigantic boxes that have a whole bunch of interconnects, and we spent a couple days trying to get this one working. But it's just modified way too heavily in the back. I should have taken some video, but in the back, it's just a mess of new interconnects that are custom to this thing. I don't know if we're ever going to get this one working. We're going to keep trying. We got a lot of cards, and we got a whole nother box because I got 2 of these gigantic controllers. So you can see this is what the control panel looked like for the larger control units. Here's the e-stop, auto start, and then they have keyed power. Of course, we don't have the primary key for the teach thing, but again, that doesn't really matter too much to us at this point. And then a list of all their control inputs and outputs. And here's the other controller, the other control cabinet, I should say, which I've repurposed into my my photography storage zone. But you can see the gigantic transformer that was inside of this thing. This is just a big hunk of metal, so I'm going to use it for my recording studio for audio, because this is the kind of stuff that serious recording studios use to isolate noise. But this thing must weigh, I don't know, at least 15 pounds. It's just a big solid iron core.